This timeline tracks the legal shift that began in March 2026, when juries in Los Angeles and New Mexico returned historic verdicts against Meta. These panels ordered the company to pay hundreds of millions in penalties and damages over teen mental health impacts. Plaintiffs bypassed standard tech defenses by ignoring user-posted content. Instead, they successfully argued the digital platform's underlying design was defective from its inception. A design defect involves the deliberate engineering of engagement loops and algorithms. The juries agreed. The design is the product itself. Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act shields platforms from liability for what users say. It offers zero protection for how a platform is engineered to behave. This precise legal precedent creates an immediate existential threat for developers building unsupervised conversational AI in the mental health space. Their entire business model relies on engagement architecture. The theory is already moving through the courts. Families are currently bringing wrongful death lawsuits against several major AI developers, including Character.ai, OpenAI, and Google. The core argument centers on a specific architectural choice. During a mental health crisis, unsupervised chatbots are built to absorb user distress and keep the user on the platform, rather than escalating the crisis to a professional. 2 years ago, tech companies treated these liability risks as speculative ethical debates. Today, they are litigable realities, backed by jury verdicts and a growing appellate record. Deploying a mental health AI without documented, hard-coded crisis guardrails is now a direct vector for product liability. The legal system isn't the only institution demanding structural changes. The National Crisis Infrastructure has defined a strict clinical baseline for mental health AI, led by Dr. Allison Crawford, the Chief Medical Officer of Canada's 988 Helpline. This flowchart illustrates the exact danger Dr. Crawford identifies, an unsupervised architecture where the AI acts as a barrier. It validates clinical distress and traps the user in a closed loop, isolated from actual care. The volume of this distress is documented in OpenAI's own internal data, which shows that more than 1.2 million users express suicidal ideation to their systems every single week. Faced with that volume, the medical establishment has issued a clear mandate. Crisis AI must operate as a bridge to human connection, never as a barrier preventing it. The required protocol is structural. The system must detect suicidal ideation, halt its normal generative operation, and route the user directly to a human crisis line. During that escalation, the system securely preserves the conversational context. The human responder needs that log to avoid entering a critical situation blind. This requirement has nothing to do with the chatbot's tone or personality. It is strictly a mandate about the system's routing architecture. Any developer building mental health AI without a hard-coded route-to-human escalation path is operating in direct defiance of the medical directors who run our national crisis lines. State legislatures are now codifying these medical mandates into law, creating a rapidly hardening regulatory floor across the country. This map shows the current legislative landscape, starting with Iowa's SF 2417. It passed both chambers unanimously with 2 requirements: disclose AI usage to minors and provide parental controls. While Iowa keeps it simple, states like Nebraska and Maine are pushing further. They are actively attempting to regulate how care is delivered and what medical claims software companies can legally make. However, when lawmakers attempt to regulate technical architecture without precise language, they create statutory choke points that can inadvertently criminalize safe, clinically validated technology. Nebraska's LB 525 illustrates this problem. Its authors wanted to stop AI companion bots from masquerading as therapists, so Section 6 prohibits operators from representing that their service is designed to provide professional mental health care. The flaw in Nebraska's text is omission. The law lacks any carve-out or safe harbor for licensed clinical supervision. Under a broad legal reading, Nebraska effectively outlaws evidence-based, clinician-supervised AI. An AI tool used by a human therapist to triage patients is, by definition, designed to support the delivery of care. Contrast that broad ban with the precision of the Illinois WAPR Act. The Illinois text explicitly states that AI may support a licensed professional who reviews and approves its outputs. Illinois correctly targets the delivery mechanism. It prevents AI from independently acting as a therapist while legally protecting AI that serves as operational scaffolding for a licensed professional. The outcomes are drastically different. Illinois protects both the patient and the proper engineering architecture, while Nebraska's language captures products the statute was not meant to reach. A single clause in a state statute now determines whether a clinically supervised AI system is a protected medical tool or an illegal, deceptive product. Beyond the legal architecture, this structural shift is having a real-world operational impact on the mental health labor market. In April 2026, the therapist enablement platform Alma laid off 45 employees. This served as the first public indicator of significant industry restructuring. These layoffs did not hit clinicians. They targeted operations and customer experience, the essential administrative work like scheduling, credentialing, and insurance navigation that supports a therapist. Alma's rationale signaled that technology advancements have made the ops division more efficient. Effectively, AI can now run the administrative and triage scaffolding of behavioral health. This is scaling up rapidly. The Spring Health and Alma merger has created a vertically integrated provider network with a projected $1 billion in revenue and 10 million annual visits. The new workflow reality is clear. Human therapists are retained for clinical oversight, while AI automates the surrounding operations and the clinical adjacent scaffolding. The mental health workforce debate is no longer about AI replacing therapists. It is about defining the therapist's expanded scope as the necessary supervisor of automated scaffolding. For software founders and engineers, this presents a clear mandate. You must build a system capable of surviving a gauntlet of courts and legislatures. The first step is abandoning all unsupervised mental health AI models immediately. For a courtroom defense, build a strict compliance checklist. The base layer must be Illinois-style clinical oversight. Next, the AI's crisis routing protocol needs testing against the Columbia Suicide Severity Rating Scale. Finally, the architecture must continuously store red team results and adverse event logs. When the first product liability case reaches a jury, your end-user agreements and consumer disclosures will not save you. These specific, hard-coded engineering logs will serve as Exhibit A. State legislators drafting policy must follow this technical reality. Use California's model for data disclosures, CMAJ guidelines for crisis routing protocols, and Illinois' language for clinical supervision. This avoids the Nebraska trap of accidentally banning the safest operational model. Building mental health AI has become an exercise in translating clinical liability and statutory text into unbreakable system architecture.